The failed missions. The meeting room lights were harsh against Commander Yuna's silver-scaled forehead. She had read the same reports 10 times, and each reading made the situation look worse. Mission status, failed. Crew status, missing. Threat level, maximum. Around the conference table sat representatives from 7 different species, each in chairs designed for their unique physiology. Some had 4 arms, others floated without legs, and one resembled a walking tree. Despite their differences, they all shared the same expression, fear. The planet below, Kepler 442b, should have been perfect. Green forests, clean water, breathable atmosphere, ideal for colonization. But something in those forests didn't welcome visitors. The locals called it the shadow. "Let me explain what we're dealing with," Yuna began, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. 3 months ago, we sent the Xenurans. The wall screen displayed 5 tall, gray beings with enlarged heads and multiple eyes. Their equipment was legendary, sensors that could detect a mouse inside a mountain, heat scanners, movement detectors, sound analyzers. They were the galaxy's premier tracking unit. The shadow killed them all in 2 days, Yuna continued. A small blue alien chirped anxiously. Yuna nodded grimly and moved to the next display. Next, we deployed the Void Walkers. Images showed shadow-like beings who could phase through solid matter and turn invisible. They lasted 4 days. We found fragments of their equipment, nothing else. The room fell silent. Everyone knew the Void Walkers' reputation. Last month, we tried the synthetics. The final images revealed metallic humanoids with glowing optical sensors. They computed every variable, predicted weather patterns, mapped terrain, calculated optimal approach routes. The shadow was waiting for them anyway. A tree-like alien spoke, his voice rustling like wind through leaves. "What does this creature want?" "We don't know," Yuna admitted. "It eliminates everything that enters its territory but doesn't consume them. It simply removes them." A red-skinned delegate with multiple rows of teeth leaned forward. "Why not orbital bombardment?" "Because we need to understand it first. This planet could house millions of our people. We can't abandon it because of one entity, but we also can't keep sacrificing teams." The room remained quiet, everyone thinking the same thing: if the galaxy's elite couldn't handle this creature, who could? The human solution. The conference room door opened, and a human entered. He wasn't imposing, average height, soft pink skin, messy black hair. He wore simple clothes and worn boots, carrying a steaming cup of coffee. This was Marcus Chen, the human liaison. Yuna had worked with him for 2 years and still found him puzzling. "Sorry I'm late," Marcus said with a grin. Coffee machine was acting up again. He settled into his chair and casually propped his feet on the table, causing several aliens to gasp at the cultural impropriety. "So what's the situation?" he asked, taking a sip. Yuna stared at him. Humans were peculiar, not the strongest, smartest, or most technologically advanced species, yet they consistently survived situations that destroyed others. "We need someone to investigate the shadow," Yuna said carefully. Marcus nodded. "The forest creature that's been giving everyone trouble?" "Yeah, I heard about it." "Sounds interesting." "Interesting?" The red alien looked shocked. "It has eliminated 15 trained operatives." Marcus said, unbothered. "Did anyone try communicating with it?" Complete silence fell over the room. Several aliens exchanged confused glances. "Communicating?" Yuna repeated. "It's a predator. A wild animal." Marcus shrugged. "Maybe. But consider this, something intelligent enough to outwit Xenuran sensors and catch Void Walkers isn't just an animal. That's a thinking being." The blue alien chirped frantically, its translator interpreting, "Impossible. No intelligence scans detected higher brain function." Marcus laughed. Your intelligence scans probably couldn't detect human brain function either. Different kinds of smart, you know. Yuna felt a headache forming. Humans always did this, took impossible situations and made them sound simple, looked at deadly threats and saw opportunities for friendship. So you'll take the mission? She asked. Marcus grinned, his white teeth gleaming. Sure thing, boss. Sounds like fun. The entire room stared. Boss. Yuna was a respected military commander who had fought in 3 wars and commanded fleets, and this human just called her boss like they were old friends. When do I leave? Marcus asked, already pulling out his tablet to take notes. Tomorrow morning, Yuna replied, still bewildered. Are you certain about this? Absolutely. I've got camping gear, and I stopped by the kitchen, grabbed some extra provisions. Figured I might need them. For yourself? Asked the tree-like alien. Marcus winked. Maybe. Or maybe for making new friends. Into the shadows domain. The transport was small and noisy. Marcus sat in the back, his modest gear spread around him, one backpack, sleeping bag, basic food supplies, and a simple radio. That was it. The pilot, a nervous 4-eyed Centaurian named Keto, kept glancing back worriedly. Are you sure about this? I can turn around, no one would blame you. Marcus was checking his supplies, pulling out dried meat and grinning. Nah, I'm good. This is going to be interesting. Interesting? Keto's voice pitched higher. The last team I transported never returned. Different team, different approach, Marcus replied with a shrug. Through the viewport, Kepler 442b looked magnificent. Crimson trees covered rolling hills, azure rivers carved through emerald valleys, and the sky was lavender with twin suns. It appeared perfect for vacation, if not for the deadly entity lurking in those forests. The ship landed in a clearing near the forest edge. Keto opened the hatch but remained inside. I'll check in every 12 hours, Keto said. If you don't respond, I'm coming after you. Thanks, buddy, Marcus replied, grabbing his pack. See you later. The ship departed quickly, leaving Marcus alone. He stood in the clearing, breathing deeply. The air smelled of flowers and rain, while strange birds created haunting melodies in the trees. A purple butterfly-like creature fluttered past his nose. Nice place, he said to himself, then looked toward the dark forest ahead. Okay, big guy. I'm here. Hope you're ready to meet me. Marcus walked to the forest edge and began examining signs. The previous teams had left plenty of evidence, boot prints, equipment scratches, broken branches where people had fled. But there were other tracks too. The first one made Marcus whistle softly. It was a footprint in the mud, but not from any boot. Large as a dinner plate, 6-toed with long claws. The depth indicated something very heavy had made it. Hello there, Marcus said to the print. You must be my new friend. He photographed and measured the track, then followed the trail deeper into the forest. The trees here were massive, their red bark rough beneath his palms, their leaves forming such a thick canopy that only fragments of purple sky showed through. The ground felt soft and springy underfoot. As he walked, Marcus noticed something the reports hadn't mentioned: the forest was watching him. Not with eyes, but with an awareness that made his skin tingle. Whatever the shadow was, it knew he was there. I know you can sense me, Marcus called out to the trees. I'm not here to hurt you. Just want to talk. Unexpected contact. Marcus had been walking for 3 hours when he found the first body. It was a Xenuran, still in its environmental suit, but the being inside was gone. Not killed, gone. The suit was intact, sealed, but completely empty. Okay, that's new, Marcus muttered, examining the suit. No tears, no signs of struggle. It was as if the Xenuran had simply vanished from inside its own protective gear. He set up camp in a small clearing as the twin suns began to set. The forest grew quiet except for the whisper of wind through leaves. Marcus lit a small fire, more for comfort than warmth, and opened his pack. He pulled out 2 large steaks he'd brought from the station kitchen and began cooking them over the fire. The smell filled the clearing, rich and savory. "I don't know if you eat meat," Marcus called out to the darkness, "but I figured it couldn't hurt to be hospitable." The forest remained silent. Marcus ate 1 steak slowly, savoring it, then placed the second on a flat rock near the edge of the clearing. "This one's for you, if you want it. No strings attached." He settled back against a tree and pulled out a small device, not a weapon or scanner, but a simple music player. Soft acoustic guitar began to play, a peaceful melody that seemed to blend with the forest sounds. "I'm not like the others who came here," Marcus said conversationally. "They were all about hunting and tracking and fighting. That's not really my thing. I prefer talking." A branch snapped in the darkness beyond the firelight. Marcus didn't tense or reach for a weapon. He just continued talking. "You know, back on Earth, that's my home planet, we have a saying, the best way to make a friend is to be one. Maybe that sounds stupid to you, but it's worked for me so far." The shadows at the edge of the clearing began to shift and move. Not like wind-blown leaves, but with purpose. Marcus watched calmly as a shape began to emerge from the darkness. It was tall, maybe 8 feet, with a humanoid outline but composed entirely of what looked like living shadow. Where its face should be, 2 points of soft blue light regarded him with unmistakable intelligence. "There you are," Marcus said with a smile. "I was wondering when you'd come say hello." The shadow creature remained at the edge of the firelight, its form rippling like water. When it spoke, its voice was like whispers in a deep cave. "You are different." "Yeah, I get that a lot," Marcus replied. "Want to sit down? I promise I won't bite." The creature moved closer, its form becoming more solid, more defined. It settled across the fire from Marcus, the blue lights of its eyes never leaving his face. "The others came to hunt me," it said. "I know. They were scared, and scared people do stupid things. I'm not here to hunt you. I'm here to understand." The creature gestured to the empty environmental suit. "I do not kill them. I translate them." "Translate? To energy. To thought. To understanding. Your kind calls it death, but it is transformation." Marcus nodded slowly. "That's why the suits are empty. You're not destroying them, you're changing them into something else." "Yes. But you." The creature leaned forward, its shadow form crackling with curiosity. "You cannot be translated. You are resistant." "Resistant to what?" "To fear. The others, they radiated terror. Terror makes translation easy. But you." The creature's head tilted. "You radiate friendship." The truth revealed. Marcus leaned forward, the firelight dancing across his face. "So you're not really a predator at all, are you?" The shadow creature's form solidified further, revealing more distinct features, not quite human, not quite alien, but something entirely unique. "I am a guardian. This forest, this planet, it is a nursery." "A nursery?" The creature gestured, and suddenly the air around them shimmered. Marcus gasped as he saw the truth, the trees weren't just trees. They were cocoons, each one containing a developing consciousness, a new form of life that existed somewhere between matter and energy. "My kind seed worlds like this across the galaxy," the Guardian explained. "We plant the seeds of new consciousness, tend them as they grow. In 1,000 years, they will emerge as beings of pure thought and energy." Marcus looked around in wonder. "And the people who came here? They brought weapons, scanners, fear. Fear disrupts the nursery. The developing minds can sense it, and it damages their growth. I had to remove the threat. By translating them. Yes. They become part of the forest consciousness, adding their experiences to the collective knowledge. It is not death, it is integration. Marcus was quiet for a long moment, processing this revelation. But you didn't translate me. The Guardian's blue eyes brightened. You brought something different. Curiosity. Friendship. Respect. These emotions nurture the young minds rather than harm them. The fire crackled between them as Marcus considered the implications. So the planet can't be colonized. Not for 1,000 years. Not in the way your people intended, no. But. The Guardian paused, seeming to consider something. There is another way. Over the next hour, the Guardian explained a different possibility. Humans, with their unique emotional spectrum and adaptability, could serve as caretakers for the nursery world. They could live here, tend the forest, and help nurture the developing consciousnesses. In return, they would be the first to communicate with an entirely new form of life when the 1,000 years were complete. When dawn broke, Marcus activated his radio. Keto, you there? Marcus. Thank the stars, you're alive. Should I come get you? Not yet, buddy. I need to talk to Commander Yuna first. And Keto? Tell her we're going to need a completely different kind of colony plan. 3 days later, Marcus sat across from Commander Yuna in the meeting room, the same representatives from before gathered around the table. But this time, there was no fear in their faces, only amazement. So the shadow isn't hostile, Yuna summarized. It's a gardener. A guardian, Marcus corrected. And this planet isn't empty, it's full of developing life we can't even imagine yet. The tree-like alien rustled thoughtfully. And you propose we help tend this nursery? Marcus nodded. Think about it. 1,000 years from now, when these consciousnesses emerge, humanity will be their first contact with the physical universe. We'll be their teachers, their guides. The knowledge exchange alone would advance both our species beyond anything we can imagine. The blue alien chirped, its translator working, most unprecedented. But readings confirm human emotional frequencies do not disrupt the developing minds. Commander Yuna looked at Marcus with something approaching respect. And the Guardian agreed to this? More than agreed. It's excited about the possibility. Apparently, in all their seeding of worlds across the galaxy, they've never found a species quite like humans, one that could coexist with the nursery rather than threaten it. As the meeting concluded with plans for a very different kind of colonization, Yuna shook her head in amazement. Leave it to a human to turn a deadly first contact scenario into the foundation for a 1,000-year friendship. Marcus gathered his things, already planning his return to the surface. He had a guardian to help, a forest to tend, and a new form of life to nurture. It wasn't the mission anyone had expected, but sometimes the best outcomes came from the most unexpected approaches. The galaxy had sent its best hunters, trackers, and strategists to deal with the shadow. But in the end, all it had taken was someone willing to sit by a fire and make a friend. The end.